this is my hobby, I like doing this. Usually there's a lot of expletives in there while I'm doing that. I have quite a potty mouth, so, but because it's kind of funny, we get really, really mad, like we're letting down somebody. I mean, yes, it's ourselves, so that's a huge deal, but, you know, it's our hobby, and we get so mad and so frustrated. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't get done in time, which is, you know, sucks, but, you know. So,
Happened to me.
Yeah, it happens to me too, but while I'm working, this is my hobby, I like doing this, you know, and so it's kind of funny, because it brings you back to that moment of where you realize kind of how ridiculous it can be.
I still get mad trying to put it on.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You heard him, he was chasing his own tail, trying to get it up.
Exactly.
I had parachute clips on my Aquaman armor last year. Figured it was going to work fine. No, I didn't have the upper body strength to get them done. I was lucky I had friends staying in the same hotel.
Right.
Bing bong.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about, you know, when, again, it's kind of that thing that can come with being a little older and wiser, is understanding your limitations when you're doing stuff. And also, I think Chuck touched on it, I think Heather also did, it's like, it's really important to keep the mindset that it is not the end of the world. I think that some of the younger people can, you know, that the instant feedback that you get from social media, we're a part of it, you know, we're still kind of part of that crowd, but I think it's important to remember that a lot of that's fake. It's not real. It's not real relationships. It's not real connections. And one of the things I've used an example is I've had some friends who are like, hey, I made this thing. What do you think? And I'm like, you know, if someone asks me for my real criticism on it, well, I'll give it to you. It may not be out, and that's what I ask for my friends. Not Tina anymore, because she made me cry once. But and I wasn't even asking for criticism. So, okay, just 3 times. That's true. So, but you know, when people are saying things to you, and then so anyway, this person said to me, hey, I'm thinking, I made this. What do you think? I'm like, it's really cool. He's like, I'm thinking of selling, and I want to create them and sell them like on my Etsy page or whatever. And then he's like, because I've had a bunch of people say, I will buy one. And I'm like, you will sell 0 to those people who said I will buy one. And unfortunately, that's one of the things you see is that, and that's kind of goes back to my point that kind of the social media isn't real, is because you get tons of people who say they love this stuff, they think it's cool, it's awesome. I kind of put it akin to be careful how much you allow that to affect how awesome you think you are, because those same people who go in front of the American Idol panel also thought they were awesome until they sang in front of the judges, and then Simon Cowell lit them up. For those of you who used to watch it way back then when Simon Cowell was a part of it, aging myself, it is Cosplay over 40. So, but I mean, you don't want that to be your moment when you realize that maybe you've been just listening to all the rah-rah talk and not actually having anybody give you a legitimate critique and being willing to accept it. So.
Right. And the thing about social media is it's a double-edged sword. It is a support group of sorts, but it's also, it can be really a deterrent because you see what everyone else is doing and it's just snapshots of what they're doing. You don't know how long that took them, you don't know how long they've been sitting on that picture, you have no idea, and it's just these little snapshots, and it makes it look like a really short process when it really actually is very involved, it was very frustrating, they probably failed a whole bunch of times, and they're only showing you what they're proud of. Mm-hmm. So,
here's the pretty thing at the end.
Yeah, here's the pretty thing at the end that I accomplished, but you're not seeing all of the crap that happened to get there, and that's kind of the stories that we try to tell as far as our social medias are concerned. For the most part, it's like, you know, we're telling a story of all of the crap that happens in between, and so it's really important to remember that it's all about your mindset. Don't let social media discourage you, and use it as the resource that it should be.
I actually made a video about a month ago that was called The Magic of Failure. Don't touch me. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So just give me, that's all I was gonna say. So I made a video that specifically talked about, I made a sword for a cosplay, and it was my first time doing a resin cast that big, and I failed about 712 times. So we always see, like Heather said, we see this cool finished product, someone's like, here's a picture of some foam, and here it is done in this form. Yay, it was awesome. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Well then, so I made this video to be like, yeah, they failed a bunch of times. So it's like, don't be discouraged. Failure's okay, just keep pushing forward.
Just to build on, touch on everyone there. For me, for cosplay was the main driving force because of my children. I wanted them to be busy. I wanted them to learn something besides staring at a computer screen. I wanted them to take something that was in the future. And it paid off. And I wasn't so much worried about the failures and that. The main thing was I wanted them to understand in support of what they said is, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, and yeah, you're gonna fall, and yeah, you're gonna pick yourself back up. And during those times, they became so driven that they wanted that next cosplay to be a bit better than the last one. Instead of them going out and sitting on that screen, if they were on the screen, they were researching on how to put it together, how to make it look better, what video should I be watching, be it Corgi or Evil Ted or Bill and the Dorns, and then they would race out to the garage and it's like, Dad, let's do this. I just saw this, let's give it a shot. And to me, it didn't matter what we were building, it was the fact that we were. And how this has paid off now is my son now, he has taken all his knowledge, all his experience, and all his building skill sets, if you haven't seen his Corax, he now works for Framestore. He's now doing digital special effects for Disney and Marvel, and all the movies that you're about to see that are coming out, he did the special effects. So for me, the cosplay wasn't so much about me and whether it failed or not. I won in the fact that I inspired somebody, my children, to go on and be better and realize that yes, falling is part of the life. It's not this, oh hey, thank you, congratulations, there's a participation. Yeah, no, take your participation and go away. Because you know what, it does, you have to work at everything, and it's okay to fail, and it's okay to make those mistakes, and it's okay to advance. Because if you put in the hard work, you put in the drive, you will get to where you are. And I'm very proud to say that my kids have. So now that I'm 40 and I'm 47, now that my kids have moved on, I still feel that I need to pass that on to others. So when I meet people and I'm walking the floor as an older person, I get the younger people come up going, whoa, wow, how'd you do that? I still get to pass on that knowledge that I can't pass on to my kids anymore, and hopefully inspire other kids to do that, and those people on the floor to work hard and realize that, yeah, and then you can get, you may not, but if you do work hard and you do believe in it, you will achieve. So I'm finding it more rewarding as an older guy now is inspiring the next generations or younger generations, and then sharing my ideas with fellow older people and how to media stuff, yeah, I use it, but again, for me, my drive is how can I inspire other people? So I work hard to make my stuff nicer to hopefully inspire you or other people to be better than me. I have had a few people come back and I'm like, holy smokes, man, that was outstanding. It's like, no, thank you. Thank me, this is your work. Yeah, but it was because of what you did and what you showed. So for me being older, that's my reward, is those people that come back and inspire.
I think continued education gets a little bit of a bad rap sometimes, but it's really what this is. It's continuing to learn, to teach yourself new skills, to learn new ways to do certain things, and to just it's a creative outlet that really is very therapeutic. It's art therapy at its best. And then at the end of that, you get to put on what you made. You get to go out into a place such as this and you get to wear it and feel like a badass or feel like a princess or feel like however you want to feel, or be anonymous for the day or put on a different persona and just not be yourself. It's a sort of escapism that really helps deal with like day-to-day bullshit. Pardon my language.
Oh, suck it up.
Yeah, I told everybody at work that I was gonna go away for the weekend and play dress up, with other grown-ups for the weekend, And for me, that's a lot of what it is. I mean, the day-to-day grind is hard and it's mind-numbing and it's just one foot in front of the other, and can we just do something else?
Right.
And so, getting outside of our heads and in order to create, is beautiful. And then like Heather said, at the end of it, getting to put this on and become somebody else and play dress up and be surrounded by other creative people who really share in basically the same vision, the same love is unlike anything else I've ever been a part of.
It is the most uplifting experience I have had in my lifetime. And that's saying a huge amount.
You know what? Just keep going. Like for support, I'm a career firefighter. I'm a lieutenant. And when the guys hear what I'm about to do or what I'm some of them, like, really? But now that they've seen all my creativity and all the work, they get it. And to support it, you're right. For me, the cosplay, what I do as a career and all this stuff, and there's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of bad. When I get to be here, I The stress release. It's a stress release, yeah. For you guys to keep cosplaying, this is awesome where we can go somewhere else and be something else. Or, yeah, that's that. I like what you. Yeah.
And that's actually a good transition because we've been touching on all the great things that go on with doing cosplay, how we've got a different mindset, but we've also got our own unique set of hurdles that we've got to get past being older cosplayers. And as a single male over 40 in a convention where the average age is mid-20s, you're almost automatically labeled as a creep. And
Especially once you get to know him.
It's not completely unjustified. If you've heard all of it, everything that's going on. I started cosplaying before the Cosplay is Not Consent became a much bigger thing, the way it should be. So going to conventions by myself, dressing up by myself, I've had to overcome that instant suspicion that comes with, why is he coming up and talking to me? Why is he taking my picture? That sort of thing. And one of the first things I started doing was showing cosplayers pictures I was taking, showing them that I'm not doing something that they don't want me doing. And it took years, but I've become friends with many of the what are called cos famous, the people that you see on social media with big followings, with Ivy Doom Kitty and Anamia and Nadia Sneak and all of them. But it's been a long, slow process because they've seen me year after year. They now know who I am. Where these people I see much more frequently, and at our age we don't automatically categorize each other because we're all basically in the same category. So we do have our own set of very unique trials that we've got to pass through as well. Where Brad and Murray and all of them have got kids, I do not, so it puts me in a sort of different pigeonhole as well.
And then just kind of to touch on as far as we all have those different skill sets and we all have those different issues that we're dealing with. I think that really goes into play. We talk about failure and all that stuff, but I think a lot of times I have a lot of younger people who come up to me and like, so I want to enter a cosplay competition. I want to win things. And it's like, and I've entered cosplay competitions. I've won a few. I've not even placed or even come in a few of them. Other ones. I think the mindset is that when you go into those competitions, you have to think that you're not going to win, because if you think you deserve to win, you're going into it with the wrong mentality, I think. And also, the only person you should ever be in competition with in cosplay is yourself. What you should do is you should look at other people for inspiration. And I know sometimes it's a little bit, you look at them with a little jealousy because you're like, that is some amazing stuff. But look at them for inspiration. But really what it comes down to is, no matter what your skill set is, if you're improving, you're succeeding at cosplay. You're winning the contest against yourself. So as long as you're making that progress, I'm trying something new, I'm trying something different. I look at what I built last year to what I built this year, and I'm excited that I'm making progress. I'm trying new techniques. And so to keep yourself from getting frustrated and discouraged, I really strongly recommend, just like I said, be in competition with yourself, because cosplay, it's art form, it's subjective. What one person likes, another won't. What one judge thinks is amazing, another won't. So trying to get yourself fulfilled by entering contests to prove that you're the best, it's just gonna end up hurting you.
It's gonna be empty. Empty. One of the specific challenges that I always have to deal with is, my kids are 13 and 11. I have two boys, and they're at an age where they kind of need me a lot, but I want to do this too. So I try to drag them into it as much as I can, but I can't because they have, problems with crowds or noise, and they can't handle this kind of situation very often. And so I find that a particular challenge when I want to involve them, because I have to be very careful about what they can and can't do. And as far as that goes, it's, they're here with me this weekend, and they've been here maybe a total of 2 hours. because they can't handle it. So I've had to, you know, schedule things and costume around that kind of schedule, and that's okay. It's okay. Cosplay is what you make of it, and no one's going to tell you it's right or it's wrong, and no one can tell you it's right or it's wrong. There's no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. Just do it.
Yeah, I told my kids, you don't need to compete. I threw them through a few. We've done a few. Won a few, lost a few. But at the same time, when I raised my two, it's like, you really need to? No. You know where you get your accolades? It's by being judged by your peers. It's like me when the car shows. It wasn't getting, to me, the ultimate trophy of any car that I built wasn't the first, second place. It was people's choice. And I do it this way here with cosplay and with participating here. I get more rewards by people coming up going, wow, nice work. You obviously put a lot of time into that. And I tried to pass it on to my kids where that's the reward. People are coming up to you and taking time out of their day to come up and say, hey, you did a great job. And that's the real reward. You don't need to be on a stage and get that. If that's for you, by all means, please pursue that. That's awesome. What I tried with my kids is no, work hard, put in the effort, and it will show off to itself. And that's the real driving force for yourself. And especially when you step outside our world of cosplay and the real world. It's when the boss comes up, hey, nice job.
Yeah, I've done a couple of smaller contests. You know, and some I've done okay, and some, you know, I've won a couple, and some I've not done well. But I don't compete for the most part, just especially larger ones. They take a lot of time.
Right.
It's just frustration.
A lot of energy goes into those contests that you don't get a lot back out of, and so it's one of those things where if you want to do it, I recommend you do it and have that experience, and if that's what you like, that's what you like. But if you do it and you decide that's not for you, that's also okay.
I have found that, like Marie was saying, I get far more satisfaction walking around the con floor and, you know, having people say, wow, I really like that, or how did you do that, and having a conversation, you know, about your cosplay, having those awesome one-on-one conversations. I had a guy stop us while we were walking back from a photo shoot with Murray and my kid and my wife, who I got to cosplay for the first time at this con. Yeah, I built a cosplay for her to match this one that I have, and she said, I feel like I'm going to throw up right now. I'm like, you look awesome, but as soon as she got out,